So I was thinking about the implications of this chat GPT. I was thinking that combined with the sort of voice recognition, voice speech software that's coming out, that's becoming increasingly more fluid and not sounding like a machine, is going to be is going to be wild, right? In the sense that so you know how you're listening to this podcast, you know that there's a real person on the other end. In the matter of a few years, probably no more than a decade, probably even sooner than that, you'll be listening to a computer do the same thing, and you will not know the difference between a computer and a human. And the the sort of weird thing that I was thinking about was like, how do we ensure that? And so what's going to happen? There's going to be very personalized, specifically for the individual themselves, very, very personalized um, radio or knowledge or coaching or whatever, like whatever they need, right? You just simply talk into the computer, and you say into whatever your interface is, and you say, give me a conversation about blah, or let me have a conversation about blah. And then you'll be able to have that conversation. And so the thing that I was thinking about was, okay, well, if that's the case, that's super positive, and interesting, but we almost really need to think about, and I don't know if they've, I hope that they've thought about this, is to repeatedly train the computer to come back to sort of positive, the AI to come back to positive. Here's the thing that's like, because it could quickly spiral and do something really nasty, like this whole January 6th thing that we've seen, where and it's because of echo chambers on social media, where people are sort of talking to each other. They're getting promoted information that is all similar to each other, and we created this sort of nasty environment. Um, we have to be, they have to be very cognizant. I guess it's we at this moment have to be very cognizant not to allow that to happen, and to put in guardrails to prevent things like that from happening. Where all of a sudden it spirals into really negative territory, because there's lots of people that are, they're not nice people, right? We have to sort of recognize that. And the other thing is that sometimes people get into these really negative um, thought processes, right? And if somebody like that talks, you tell your computer, or you ask it to provide some information, or a podcast or a story about something really negative, you'll quickly spiral into increasingly more negative, right? And you'll get that sort of rumination in the negative territory. It's unnerving, actually, in terms of how we ensure that that doesn't happen, because it's going to create more challenges as we go about, because it's going to feel very real, um, like insanely real, where it will feel like you were talking to a human being, and it's coming back. Um, that sort of conversation is, you're not going to know the difference. And the trouble is that that's going to create, um, perhaps more civil unrest than what is already available. Now, if we put a guardrail in, and here's the other thing on the other side, right? If you put the guardrail in, you say only talk about positive things and happy things. Um, there are a lot of conversations that we do need to have that are somewhat challenging and difficult, um, to deal with, right? And sometimes having that variety of being negative and positive is what makes us human, right? And that is going to become increasingly programmed, or it's not programmed, but increasingly part of of the system, the sort of um, you know flightiness of humans, where we are both where the computer is some days it's positive, some days it's negative. You know how you what was the old movie, the Space Odyssey movie, the one where I think the computer is kind of moody. Um, but that's where we have to sort of think about, like, oof, what is the implications of this, and where is this taking us? I honestly don't know. I think we're in very new territory. I'm actually it's an absolute marvel, um, and at the same time it's actually pretty scary, in terms of what's going to happen. And I know that sort of fears of the future um, are often unnecessary, right? Like that's just my worries and sort of thinking about things. But sometimes they come true, right? And I'm generally getting a little better at making. I don't know if I am actually. Maybe that's just my silliness in my old age. Um, like, I'm cautiously optimistic, I guess, in terms of the power of what these new AI systems. If you're, I'm specifically talking about Chat GPT. If you haven't seen it, you really need to try it out, and not just try it out superficially, but actually use it, um, and it will blow your mind. So I just want you to, like, know this as you go about your day. Just all right, it's not. That's not what I was. I was going kind of in the little auto, because it's early in the morning, by the way, and I'm driving into work. But I just want you to sort of, all right. I'm just thinking out loud of, like, how powerful this is, and it's it's kind of mind blowing at this moment. Yeah, it's mind blowing. It's kind of where my thought process is. I don't know where it's taking us. I hope it's all positive and it's all prosperity. But as these things are, we have unintended consequences, and often that there are negative things that we've never thought about that are not really fun to deal with. So um, just just be I think a good take on all of this stuff, cautiously optimistic, is a good take, right? Like, this could lead to tremendous prosperity and just unbelievable opportunities in so many different areas, but at the same time, this could be also a little challenging, um, or a lot challenging. And I'm not talking about the sort of, Terminator 2, where the system's taking over the world, um, sort of thing. Maybe that's actually the case. I don't know. I don't know. If you haven't watched Terminator 2, you gotta watch it. I it's I don't know. I don't know. I think we need to really have a conversation. There's gonna be lots of interesting things going forward. All right, take care and have a wonderful day.